Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Tosh Customs, and today we'll be looking at this custom Mezco Deathstroke that I made. This was a commission, and I actually made two of them. So for this review, I'll just be looking at the different things that I did for this figure, how I put them together, and just like the different cool accessories and features he comes with. So this review should be a relatively quick one compared to the other Mezcos I've had. So yeah, let's dive into it. Oh, and I just realized I forgot to put his sword in the frame. So there we go. Now we're ready to go. So as always, we'll look at the accessories first. So I'm going to put this figure aside and we're going to take a look at what we got. So as you can see here, if you guys are familiar with the Deathstroke figure, this is not all the accessories he comes with. These are the ones that I was sent by the customer. So this is all I have. I know it's not his full range of weapons, so it is what it is. And so we'll just dive right into it. So first, starting with the hands. Before the Deathstroke hands, and by the way, this was the PX Deathstroke. So they were the figure was the main base of the figure is already black. So for these hands, they were black with this like grayish blue dry brushing over it, and then this actually wasn't painted. The armor plate on it was also just a flat black. I don't know why that was. But so I resprayed all the hands with the matte black, and then after that I picked out the armor pieces with gunmetal, and then the bolts with a bright silver. And I did that for all the hands. So his first pair, he gets a pair of like trigger finger hands. And so this one is definitely for a gun, but this one, while it has the trigger finger, it's a lot wider open. So it looks a lot more like it's supposed to hold the under part of a gun or act like as a grip. So like for instance, when you put the rifle in these hands, for instance, this hand definitely looks like it's supposed to just go, oops, yeah, it doesn't hold, but it's supposed to go under the barrel. And, you know, that's your supporter stabilizing hands, you know, so it's supposed to hold a grip, hold right there, just for stuff like that. So that's more of what this hand is for, because it's a much wider hand, so it doesn't really hold the guns very well. So let's remove that hand off the gun. And so we're just going to take both of these and put them off to the side. The other pair, let me put that gun back too. The other pair of hands he comes with are these grasping hands, and these are for the sword, which is only the really accessory that it works with. I think Deathstroke does come with a submachine gun, kind of like a UMP submachine gun style thing. So I believe that gun also has like a vertical foregrip, so he can hold it like so, and he can hold, so he can hold his sword, and then he can use this hand along with the trigger finger hand to hold the UMP gun. Otherwise, they're painted the same, standard, just gripping hands. The Deathstroke figure himself does come with fisted hands also. I believe those are the 3 pairs of hands that this figure does come with, so I don't believe I'm missing anything else. So same paint job, the flat black with the gunmetal with the bright silver. So then looking at the accessories real quick, all the Deathstroke accessories had these like little orange highlights and lines on them. Just so that the color scheme was the same. It didn't look very tactical. It looks rather childish. It's cartoony, you know? So in honor of making him more realistic, I sprayed everything a flat black and then dry brushed gunmetal and silver on it. So you can tell there's just the little details picked out. It looks like it's been through some wear and tear. So here's his grenade launcher. The grenade launcher standard with the way Mezco does it. So it has the adjustable stock, and then you can pop, like, I don't know what it's called, carriage or something, whatever. You can load a grenade in there and it closes. The grenade won't come out the front because it's just, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's just plastic in there. There's a hole, but it's plastic at the end, so you don't have to worry about a grenade falling out. So that's pretty standard Mezco accessory. We'll go to the rifle next. Same thing, pretty easy. The scopes have gloss in them, but have like a gloss paint to give it more of that glass lens type look. Otherwise, sprayed flat black, dry brushed with that gunmetal and a little bit of silver. The magazine, I didn't paint the bullets inside. I thought the bullets were painted pretty well. You got some gold and then some like bronze or I'm trying to brass maybe paint on the tips. It's a good color. I like it. It looks nice. The clip just loads. Sorry, I think it might have been out of frame. Clip just loads right in there. Easy peasy. We come to the pistol. Sadly, this pistol isn't one of the bigger ones that Mezco makes, so the doesn't pull back. But otherwise, once again, sprayed black, hit with the hit with the gunmetal and silver. Sorry, my voice is going a little bit. So we have that. This magazine also does pull out, which is standard for Mezco. And I realized I had it in the wrong way, which is why it wasn't fitting in flat. So if we, because there we go, you can see that the bolt's facing the right way now. So now we should be able to load that in there. And it still does look like a little bit of an extended mag. It still pops out a little bit. It doesn't tuck in flush, but it's facing the correct direction now. So that was my bad. Last accessory, we come to the sword. Once again, I sprayed it all black because there used to be like a silver line somewhere. I think it was right over here on the handle. By the way, I really love this handle. I think the ridges are so cool. It feels really futuristic instead of just having a normal solid handle. But anyways, if you are familiar with this sword, at least for the PX version, it does actually come almost like a gunmetal or a black. Yeah, it almost feels much more like a black. And I was just looking at source material for this version of Deathstroke, which is like the new 52, one of the new 52 versions. I think it's also the suit he wears in like that God Killer series or something, but I'm not totally sure. But anyways, his sword isn't black, it's silver. So sprayed it with a bright silver. This is actually a different silver than what I've been doing the other details on the figure with. This silver, I believe it's Liquitex silver ink, acrylic ink, something like that. But it's super, super thin, so you don't really need to thin it out on your airbrush. And it comes and it's very, very shiny, and I like it a lot. It's very, very nice. The light reflects off of it. It is so pretty. So I did that. I sprayed that on the blade, and then I hand painted just like this gunmetal bit. You can kind of see that this area right here is a little bit darker than the silver. So I just wanted to make some distinction, pick out the details with some paint. It's always important to pick out details with the paint so then you can appreciate it. Otherwise, some of it gets lost. So did that for detail's sake, and that's the sword. I think it's really pretty. I enjoy it. So now looking at the figure, the base of this figure, if you can't tell, is the I'm sorry, I'm so lost right now. I'm a little bit tired. Sorry for the shortness of words. It was based off of the PX Batman. It's the Onyx version of the Ascending Knight, so it's the all black suit. So I didn't have to do any dyeing with this figure. Just all normal straight black, and it looks very nice. I like the black rubber on the black fabric. It has this really, really nice sleek look to it, which is perfect for Deathstroke, especially this version of him. This version of him wears a really nice tight bodysuit. So I feel like using this as a base is really, really nice. So then as far as the parts, he obviously has the PX Deathstroke head. I pulled the shoulder plates from the PX Deathstroke. His strap with the sword sheath is also pulled from that figure, as well as the holster. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I believe that is, oh, and the hands, obviously. Otherwise, that's it. The other figures that were used to make this were obviously the Batman. And then also, for this one, I used Green Arrow. I actually made two of these figures. They're nearly identical. And the reason I did that is because the commissioner, the commissioner and his brother, they both asked for one. So I ended up having them like send me their parts and picking up the rest. And so I made like two pretty much identical copies. So anyways, I had Green Arrow and then Red Arrow, or is it Red Arrow? Is that his name? I think, from there. So anyways, for those parts, the boots, so this part here, as well as the feet, it's from Green Arrow, as well as these arm gauntlet guards, as well as these straps that, like these backpack-ish straps that kind of frame the chest. Those are all from Green Arrow. Trying to think of what else. Oh, and then the knife sheath. The knife sheath is also from Green Arrow. Sadly, neither of them sent me the knife sheath, or the knife, but that's what it's for. So it can fit in there, and you can put the pistol in on that end. I'm trying to think of if I missed anything. Besides Mezco parts, this belt buckle is from the Scourge figure. His pouches on either side can both be found on the like Nick Fury Shield Agent figure, Marvel Legends figure, which I believe is from the, I want to say Ant-Man wave, but I might be wrong. It's a couple years old. Maybe it was Civil War wave, something like that. But yeah, the Shield Agent, that's the one that comes with the 3 heads, the Nick Fury head, the like gas mask head, as well as the I think his name's Dax head. It's the one with the green visor that looks like it's like from Naruto or Dragon Ball Z or something. I'm probably making mistakes on all those references. But yeah, and then the knee pads are also from Scourge. So then the really, really custom parts that I had to do a lot of work on was the scarf. I had to get a scarf to fit the neck, and I'll explain the whole neck predicament in a second. And then also these armbands and the chest piece, which is all custom sculpted. So I'll just give you a little zoom in there. I actually made a tool that helped me sculpt these scales. So they're very nice in that silver. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. And this whole figure, if you hadn't figured out, is all custom painted. So like the mask got a complete repaint. So none of this is the original color that Deathstroke was. So taking a little bit of a deeper dive into how I made the figure. By the way, articulation is standard. I was able to preserve all the articulation in the figure, so I'm just going to skip over that. The only thing I did was add articulation, which would be in the feet. If you are familiar with the Green Arrow figure, you'll know that the feet joints really are pretty static. So I was able to shave down on the inside of the boot there, and so I was able to get a little bit more up and down and pull a lot more side to side movement there. Yeah, got a lot more wiggle on it. So that's pretty nice. Other than that, articulation is standard. So as far as how I made it, starting from the top, the head itself is unchanged. The only thing I did was I got some ribbon, created those tassels. So, now he's got his whole classic look. And then the scarf put on it. I'm going to remove the head real quick and just kind of show you guys the reality of my work. The scarf is under the sword sheath a little bit. Let's see if I can pop that off. So, never mind. It's all stuck up under the harness. I'm not going to try to remove it fully. But anyways, this is the Batman neck, which comes with the PX. I think it's PX, Ascending Knight. So what I had to do, if you guys are familiar with the cowl pieces extend all the way out to the shoulders, and the neck is very thick, so that it frames the Batman head well. So what I had to do was, you can see it's much thinner. So I actually cut off all the extra bits around the shoulders, and then I had to shave everything down. And the reason for that was, first of all, I had to make it look proportionate, with the scarf. So when you tuck a scarf up on it, it doesn't look like he's got this massive like cloak on. But then on top of that, it's because this head peg where the neck is, and just the way the jaw and then like the back of the helmet frames the neck, this has to be so much thinner for it to fit on. So if you guys want to remake this or whatever, know that you're going to have to do a significant amount of work in order to get that head to fit. And I was able to keep all the articulation in the head. So he looks up, he looks down, he's got his tilt, he looks side to side, all that good stuff. So that was a lot of work. That was a lot of problem solving. I think I've talked about how to sculpt on fabric before, but for anyone who is new to this channel, if you guys don't know, get painter's tape, cover any area that you want to sculpt with painter's tape, sculpt over it, then remove the painter's tape with your sculpt on it after it's hardened, remove your painter's tape, super glue, back onto the figure. You'll get a permanent stay. It'll fit to the body pretty well. That's how you do it. As far as the straps from Green Arrow go, if you're familiar with Green Arrow, there's like a whole harness system that connects it around the back and around the front. Cut all that off. I just wanted the straps, so the straps are actually glued solidly to the shoulders of the figure, but don't never fear, does not hinder the articulation at all. I get full rotation up, I get my rotation out. If I move this arm and then move it out, it's a little bit easier because of these arm braces. But you can see he can still clamp in and put his arm fully straight out. Hail Hydra. All that kind of stuff. You'll notice that the shoulders are moving, or the shoulder plates are moving independently. If you guys are familiar, I love using elastic. I use it on most of my figures because it's really flexible but holds its shape. And so both shoulder pads are on elastic. It lets you move the arms around without these shoulder pads restricting anything, and it lets the shoulder pads still look coherent with the suit. So moving down on the figure now, these gauntlets, they come from, like I said before, Green Arrow. The only issue is that these gauntlets are not removable from the figure, so I actually had to remove the forearms of Green Arrow and then just shave everything out. It was like half an hour per gauntlet. It was pretty brutal, but we did it. Here we go. These gauntlets are just permanently attached to the figure. So those are your gauntlets. The belt, it's on an elastic band. Obviously, I have my pistol holster attached to it. I've got my pouches and my buckle attached to it, and it just wraps around the figure, creates some nice storage. I like how that looks. It's actually kind of poking up on the body a little bit. I can move it down just a tad. There we go. That's a little bit more proportional. It moves up when you kick the leg up. When you move the legs around, because of the pistol holster, it just tends to push the belt all the way up. But it's fine. The knife sheath is also on an elastic band. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's also on an elastic band. That just keeps the knife sheath in place, but it also lets it be flexible. I try not to, as much as possible, I try not to permanently attach things unless they absolutely have to be, just because it's nice to have the options of taking armor on and off. So the pistol holster, it's just the standard pistol holster. It got repainted. Nothing crazy there. Standard. The knee pads are from Scourge. I had to cut them off the knee joint, and then hollow them out so that they would stay flush with the figure. And it's nice because it still lets you do the full double jointed knee bend, and it stays on, so you can get some nice like as he's kneeing someone in the face as he's fighting or something. So that's pretty cool. The boots, I outlined them with orange. These are not the full boots. There's actually like a couple other like layers, scaled. You can see how the armor is kind of like scaled and tiered. There's like 2 more layers, but they would be cutting up on the knee if I did that. And also the Batman legs are already too thick for these boots. So the peg fits in, but if you have those extra layers there, it won't accommodate the legs. So I cut them off to accommodate the legs so that it fits in nicely and securely. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I don't believe so. Yeah, so I mean, here you go. It's a pretty easy, quick look at the figure. If anyone's wondering how I folded the scarf, I wrapped fabric around the neck, and then I just kind of like cut it down to size, and then to make sure the folds stayed on the figure, I actually like super glued under some of the layers so that it would still look natural, but it would also hold its shape. So yeah, there's some life hacks for you too. So in case anyone's just kind of wondering how he looks semi-loaded up, we're just gonna drop his sword in there, throw his pistol in there. And so that's a slightly more complete look for Deathstroke right there. I'm very proud of this figure overall. Probably the most complicated part was painting, because I had to hand paint all the black. All the black was hand painted in order to preserve my orange outlines. And then real quick, the grenades I did in a nice military green, picked out the pins and stuff in gunmetal and silver. And that's just because the old grenades were like this yellowish gold color. No, grenades are yellowish gold. Got in that nice military green. So he looks a little bit more realistic, a little bit more tactical, but still holding that nice Deathstroke, cool, calm assassin look. So yeah, there you go. I'll put him next to some of my other figures. Give me a sec, just so I can get you guys some scale. I just thought of this now, so pardon me stepping away from the camera. So here Deathstroke is standing next to your Sovereign Knight Batman. Deathstroke is taller, aka The old Batman figure looks like it was a little bit taller, which is weird. They're standing, yeah, right now they're standing right about at the same spot. And you can tell that Deathstroke is, you know, not significantly taller, but he's definitely got some height, especially if you compare the shoulders to each other. Definitely got some height on him. And then here is my custom Nightwing, who I will stand up next to him as well. Also got some significant height on Nightwing. So yeah, definitely just a very, very large figure overall, which is good. He's nice, tall, and menacing, as you would expect, you know, Batman's rival, one of Batman's rivals to be. I'm just trying to get him to stand straight. Stay standing. There we go. So yeah, he's much taller. He looks a lot buffer and bigger, but he's still keeping that very aerodynamic, quick, light look. So overall, very proud of this figure, and I realize this video is just about as long as my other reviews, but there you go. That's a look at my custom Mezco Deathstroke. So yeah, I hope this video was informational and that it just helped you guys, you know, hopefully gain some inspiration, gain some new techniques as you go about customizing your own figures. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you did, please like and subscribe. I always appreciate the support. And so thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.